Hello there, my name is Jonathan and this is Jonathan's Days. This is my knitting podcast where I share about all the things I do in the world of knitting and yarn and fibre related crafts. It is a very special episode, this episode, because we hit 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I have been working on something to celebrate that with all of you for quite a long time now. And I just completely bowled over, completely thrilled and grateful that we hit this milestone. It was never my goal, was never my plan. When I started this channel, I started it in lockdown, like in the pandemic. So when I had when I was like wanted to share and didn't have anyone to talk about knitting with, that's where it all started. And my dream is just to make sure that I can, keep you company, keeps people company while they're knitting, and it's kind of like, just knitting with a friend and all of that. So thank you so much for subscribing, those of you who did subscribe, those of you who subscribed in the last week, those of you who subscribed since the beginning. Thank you so much for being here. I feel the love, I feel the support, and the reason I keep making them is because people seem to enjoy them, and I will keep making them as long as you keep watching. And yeah, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I put a lot of work into these videos, and I'm so grateful that people enjoy them and that people watch. So yeah, let's jump into the episode proper, because I have a lot to catch you up on, and we have a lot to talk about the celebration. So let's start with finished objects first, and I will start with probably the one we're all very excited about. This is my final sample of the Bosca Hat, which is my first pattern, which is also my gift to you to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. So this is the final sample that I made. I've made 4 of these samples now. There's this one here, and then this one here, and then the original one, which is over there. But this is the final sample with every kink worked out, every tweak I wanted to get it exactly how I liked, and I'm so happy with it. And the colorways for this, this is John Arbon is the main color. This kind of, what would you call it? It's not yellow. Oh my God, there's a word for it. Starts with a C. I can't think of it. Anyway, it's like that yellow-green color, and it is, and John Arbon just uses numbers, so the number will be on the screen. I think it's 49 or 50 is the number. And then the contrasting color is Spincycle Dream State in the color Close Call. You can focus, would be great, camera. There we go. So you can see it's like an autumnal shift of color, and I will actually put it on. I don't know why I'm holding it up like this, but this is all finished now. It's super warm. It doesn't cover your ears fully, but it does cover the top of your ears, so it's kind of like a skull cap style. And so I really am happy with it. I need to fix, oh, there we go. So I'm really happy with the final version of it. I have learned so much when it's come to designing and writing up a pattern. You do not realize how much work someone puts into designing a pattern until you do it yourself. Especially if, I've been knitting for a long time now. There's lots of designers I admire, and I kind of want to be as detailed and caring as they are when it comes to their patterns. And so, it makes me think that not only are most knitting patterns worth every penny, most of them are cheaper for the amount of time and energy and thought that you have to put into making something like a knitting pattern. So, give your favorite designer some love. They work really hard on their patterns. For me, it was especially challenging because it was my first one. There's a lot of things to learn. There's still stuff I need to do. When you're watching this, the pattern should be released. So there will be links to Ravelry for it. It's just up on Ravelry for now until I figure out how to put it on my website, but for now it's definitely going to be up on Ravelry, and it comes in 4 sizes. It's a toddler, a youth, an adult small, adult large. This is an adult large. This isn't exactly how the final pattern ended up, but this is the adult medium, which it's quite tight on my head. It's not uncomfortable, but it is it is much tighter and it kind of pulls the collar work a little bit. So it is a bottom up hat. If you haven't watched previous episodes, it is a bottom up hat with a folded brim. The brim has color work in it, so it's almost like it's like four layers of, yeah, four, plus the actual crown. So 5 layers of yarn between you and the crown of your head. And then it is ribbed for the top of the head, which I really, really like. And hopefully in a perfect world, the lines of the box pattern will line up with the ribbing. I hope that works. Yeah, you can kind of see how it works. I'm really, really happy with it. It was so much fun to do. And I'm so happy to like offer it to you as a thank you for reaching 10,000 subscribers. So if you are a subscriber, please subscribe. Don't take the pattern for free and not subscribe, for goodness sake. But the free pattern is only available on this video. So this is the only place I'm going to be talking about the fact that it's free. I will not be on my Instagram and any other places. I'm not advertising it for free. It will be for sale on Ravelry. But what you will need to do is input the code YouTube, all capitals, into Ravelry, and that should give you the discount for the pattern and won't charge you anything, so it'll be for free. At least that's what I'm planning. I haven't actually figured it out yet. So if that actually hasn't worked out, I'm going to cut to meet future editing Jonathan, who will tell you the truth. But otherwise, hopefully it's worked. If there's no cut, it means it's worked. Great. You go to Ravelry, you go to add it to your cart, you put in the word YouTube as the coupon code, all capitals, and then that will make it free. It will cost $0 for that. Alternatively, if you don't use Ravelry, there will be a link in the down description, which will take you to my website. It will be a password protected page on my website, and the password will be the same, YouTube, all capital letters. You pop that password in, and then it will bring you to the pattern that you can download for free. The difference between Ravelry and my website is obviously on Ravelry. If there was ever a change I wanted to make or an update to the pattern, it would update automatically and add that to your library on Ravelry, which I won't be able to do on the website, so just bear that in mind. If there ever is a future update that really changes things and you become aware of that, you can drop me an email. I now have a pro email for my website as well, so you could always email that. And yes, that's how you get it for free, only here. Please don't post about the fact that it's free on Instagram. You know, this is a gift for you guys. It's not meant to be kind of spread everywhere, but I wanted to celebrate 10,000 subscribers in a way that celebrates everyone. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I feel I did. So what else have I done with this hat pattern? I'm going to put on this sample because it's not as tight. So yeah, just making like the PDF for the pattern was interesting. At the time of filming this, I haven't taken the final photos. I'm going to do that right after I film this with my boyfriend. He's going to take them for me. And yeah, so there's like making the PDF, doing all the maths for it, you know, making sure the gauge is matches across all sizes. I mean, I've knit 3 of the 4 sizes, so I'm pretty sure they're all pretty good working. And then like writing up the pattern is, you know, you have to even like punctuation, the abbreviations you need to use, like all these kinds of things you don't really think about when you just are reading the pattern as like just as the knitter who's making it, and then when you actually have to write it up, it's so different. So thank you to all of my friends and colleagues, like I work with them, all my friends, all my knitting friends who offered to help, offered to read the pattern, offered to give me feedback. You've all been amazing. And I also did a little like test preview knit over on my Instagram. So if you want to, for future designs, if you want to potentially test knit or preview knit for me in the future, you can go follow me on Instagram. That's probably the best place to see those. And yeah, so I had several people preview knitting the pattern, which was really, really nice. I've never done a test or preview knit myself, so I was just a bit like, sure, let's do it. Like, so I just, you know, picked up some people. A good portion of them had never test knit before, and I was like, well, I've never had a test knit either, so let's all learn together. So that's technically still going on right now, but most people on the test knit have finished one already, and a lot of them are making their second, which is amazing. Some people even use like fingering and a fluff, like a mohair or surrey, which made it fluffy. So now I'm like, oh, now I want to do that. And so, yeah, so technically it's all the Spincycle Dream State is I think they count it as a worsted weight, but for me it's DK, and so the knit by numbers is DK. So as far as we're all concerned, it's the DK weight. And 3.75 millimeter needles. What else do you want to know about it? It knits up super fast. It's a really fun knit. I feel like it's addictive, because you just do you do like a colorwork section, and then you fold that up, and then you make your folded brim, and then you knit up the crown, which is great fun. And I think it will be a really good first colorwork project. I do, because you don't need to necessarily catch your floats in it, because it's not that many stitches to jump across, but I would beware of your tension. Yes, because obviously this is colorwork, and then this is folded into the band, and then this band sits on your head. So keep your colorwork nice and consistent and on the looser side, because obviously then this is all going to go around your head, and you don't want that colorwork pressing in on your head. But if you've never tried colorwork, I think it would be a good way for you to find the rhythm, because it's the same pattern the whole way up. But yeah, so that's the Bosca, guys. I'm just really, really happy with it. I'm really proud of it. I'm filming this video a week ahead before I'm planning on releasing it and all that, so it's kind of all up in the air about how it will go. But if as long as people enjoy it and they're happy with it and they have fun with it, and that's what matters to me. So again, this is my thank you to all of you for supporting me. I make these videos for no money. I've never made any money from this ever. So, you know, there's been the odd few skeins of yarn here and there, but apart from that, this is all my own time and all my own energy, and I just do it because I love this community. So this is my thank you back to you. So get out there and knit it, and if you do knit it, please tag me, please send me photos, all that stuff. Like, I want to see, I want to hear. It's very, very exciting. Even in the test knit, it's so exciting to see people making something that was in your mind. So yes, I will stop gushing about how excited I am about this and about how much I care about all of you, and we can move on to the regularly scheduled programming. Yes, so that is the Bosca Hat. Okay, so my second finished object is something very different. I've never made this item before, and so actually my next two finished objects are both the product of suddenly the temperature dropping here in the UK and here in London, and because that happened, my body was like, oh god, I need all the warm knitted things. And the first warm knitted thing was a new hot water bottle cover for our hot water bottle we have in this house. It's full, so you can hear it sloshing. It's actually still warm from last night. So this is the Cozy Bottle pattern by Hinke, and it is a free pattern. And I've knit this out of this is Aimee, Corrie worsted. The colorways are Seaglass, I believe, is this one. It will be on the screen. I've forgotten my colorways. So these are all scraps. I think it was bone perhaps is there, or French grey maybe, actually. Bone or French grey. And the dark color, can't remember. It will have been on the screen. But basically it was all with scraps. So the French grey was from my sweater pattern. Which I'll be working on, guys. Don't worry, it's coming. And the dark color was from my yesteryears sweater from 2 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago now. So they were all leftovers from other projects, which was great because it's like such a small item. And yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming everyone knows what a hot water bottle is. I first saw Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fibers make this last year, and I thought it was really cool, so it was always on my radar. And then this year, I had the hot water bottle, and it had like a cover on it that it had come with, which had gotten really like ratty and gross, and yeah, just needed to be recycled. And so then I was like, well, I'll make one. Obviously, I'm a very capable knitter. And so this jumped on my needles, and it was such an addictive knit, and I just blasted through it, and I was so happy with it. There you go. And I knew and I know that I love Corrie worsted. I love how it feels. It's really nice and soft and really warm. So I knew it would be perfect for this project. And so we refer to this in our relationship as the other man, because, you know, is the other man in bed with you, is what we say to each other. And so we share our bed with this hot water bottle. The pattern is free, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Very, very well detailed and easy to follow. It starts off from the bottom with I did a Turkish one, but I think in the pattern they asked for no, I think are Turkish and the magic cast on the same? I don't know. Anyway, so it starts from the bottom with the magic cast on here, like you would with a toe-up sock, and then you just increase up, do all the color work, and then increase back, and then you do like a long top. I could have done the top a little bit longer, but it's fine. The other thing is it comes in 2 sizes, and I did the smaller size. I probably could have done with the next size up, I think, because you might be able to see like kind of the color work stitches in places are stretching. So it is a tight fit, but it's absolutely fine. And amazingly, you can get it on and off. You know, once it's on, you don't really need to take it off, but it is elastic enough to just be pulled off as and when you need it. What else do I have to say about it? It's wonderful. It just makes me so happy. And, you know, I have so many scraps left over that I really wanted to like get a second hot water bottle, because it has been cold here in London. And I was planning on redoing this pattern, but then Laura from Penrose Knits, it was funny because when I cast this on, I like was really addicted to it and like did it in like 2 days. And then Laura has done a new design for a hot water bottle, and I saw her making her design, and it flew off her needles as well. I was like, what is it about hot water bottle covers that make them like so fun and addictive to knit? So I think she even has the test knit going for that. So I might hold off until her pattern comes out and make her pattern for a second hot water bottle. But who knew how fun it is to knit covers for things? I didn't know. I usually just knit covers for my body. But yes, highly recommend the pattern. It's free. That pattern is free. You should go, if you have a hot water bottle, go and make it. It's way more fun than you think it would be. I often thought of it as like a utility knit, and I was like, oh, like I'm not going to do color, like why go to the effort of making a color work hot water bottle cover? That's so much work. But it's so much fun, and it was nice to just do like a small project that was really satisfying and had a utility, and meant that like as soon as I was finished with it, we could start using a hot water bottle properly again. And so yeah, my boyfriend really likes it as well. So, you know, it's great. Highly recommend. Super joyous knit. Who's like, what's not to love about a joyful, fun, silly knit like this? So highly recommend Cozy Hot Water Bottle by Hinke, and La Aimee Corrie worsted is like a fantastic base. Always and forever. Love it. That's my second finished object. Third finished object, this also was the same. That cold snap happened in London, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm cold. I have loads of hand knit socks, and I have about 3 or 4 pairs that I need to repair. I need to learn how to darn my socks and mend my socks. I have all the gear. I have like the eggs and things, and I have the spare leftover yarn. So I do have a little basket of like stuff I need to mend. But in the meantime, that cold snap came around, and I was like, okay, time to make a nice, cozy, fun, warm pair of socks. I'm actually wearing them. They've been worn once, so they don't look as pretty. Da-da-da. Here you go. So yes, this is the Bearpaw sock by Andrea Mowry. I knit mine out of, which I think is the yarn in the pattern actually, is Rosa Pomar Mondim. This is the yarn of the episode, guys. We're going to see it an awful lot. So this is what I have left over. I did the smallest adult men's size, I believe. I think that's how there's tons of sizes in the pattern. So I think I did the smallest adult men's size, which like fits me just fine. They are knit on 3.5mm needles, and the 2 colors in the Mondim are 100 and 116. So that's like, a pink and white, and I marled them together. I just love the look of a marled sock. I'll show you the cuff rather than my part of the foot that's already kind of started felting because it's a no nylon sock yarn. And then it's the Fleagle, you won't be able to see here, but it's like the Fleagle heel is here. And I really like, it's essentially the same pattern or same style of sock as her DRK everyday sock, which I've already made, which I've also made a pair of. So it's toe up and then ribbed the whole way up with a Fleagle heel. And the Bearpaw is like the DK version of that. So I held the 2 yarns double, 1 strand of each of the cream and the pink to make a marl sock. And now I have like a really nice, like warm, thick sock, which is perfect for boots. My boyfriend I made him a pair of these for Christmas last year, and he's been wearing them in bed at night because he's got very cold feet. So he's got a hot water bottle with a hand knit cover and hand knit socks, and he puts those in bed, and between myself, the hot water bottle, and the socks, we keep him warm at night. So I've really loved making these. I can pop up a photo as well, so you can see the socks a bit better, but I love the look of the marled sock. There is the option to do stripes in the pattern, but I didn't do those. And I have just really, again, similar to the hot water bottle, when I had that like utility need for the item, it became such a like fun, exciting knit. It was kind of like the motivation was the product, but the enjoyment was the process. So it was really, really nice. And a super comfortable sock. I've worn them a couple of times now. I'm going to be wearing them today, and can't recommend them enough if you want a very nice, well-fitted DK sock, because it has the 2x2 ribbing, so it hugs your foot. It's great. So yes, that's the Bearpaw sock. I won't talk about it too much because I've made a pair already before, but love the yarn, love the sock pattern. Yeah, love it. And those were my 3. Yeah, those are my 3 finished objects. It's the first episode in a long time that I haven't had a garment finished for you, but I have a lot of garments in progress to show you. So let's jump over to works in progress. We are going to talk to my trip to New York and my trip to Rhinebeck, New York Sheep and Wool Festival and Wool and Folk Festival at the end, for those of you who aren't that interested in hearing about the like traveling and the kind of haul of that. You know, what I bought over there. But this is the project that I cast on. Did I cast on before I even took off? Yeah, I must have started it, just the collar, when I took off. And it was my main plane, train, travel knitting, because I flew to Minnesota to see my family who live there, and then flew on to New York, and so there was quite a few flights, planes, trains, and automobiles for me to knit on, and this was the project that I was knitting on, which I spoke about the yarn so many times in previous episodes, so now we're finally on the go with this. This is the Bumpy, I think it's just called the Bumpy, yeah, or Bumpy cardigan, by Maxim Cyr, Max the Knitter, and so we are, how many repeats do I have on the body left? I think I have like 3 more of the bumps to go on the body and the sleeves, so like a pretty decent chunk of the way into it. It is my very first cardigan, if you can believe that, and I am just in cardigan fever. I have yarn for 2 other cardigans, and I really want to make Rebecca's Viridian cardigan, the new one in the pom-pom. It's very much up my alley. But this is the first one. We are loving it. You know, who knew knitting flat was fine? You know, you do so many like top down in the round sweaters, and you kind of have them as your comfort zone. It's good to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Like purling isn't that bad. It's fine. Make friends with purling. So it is knit out of, this is Legason British DK, and it is in the color Abador's Waters. And then the bumps that go around is in Spincycle Nocturne in the color Daytripper. and I'll show you how they look. Yes. So, did I even show this to Max when I saw him? No, because I don't think we actually knit together at any point. But yes, so this is the size. Oh, I should probably remember what size I made. I think I made a size 4 actually. Yes, I made the size 4. And I'm really, really happy with it. I love the colors, very much up my alley. Maybe the back would be nice to show. There you go as well. It's cool the way it like changes color slowly down the body. I love how Max patterns are written. It's a cardigan that sits open, like it doesn't have buttons, which is really nice. I'm very excited to have it off my needles and actually wear it in this weather. I also think it would look really nice. Ooh, do you think I could get it on? Oh, I can get it on. Ha! Because I was literally thinking, I was like, oh, it would be nice with this shirt. Okay. Obviously the needles are pulling back here, so it's not actually an accurate, but you can kind of see how it looks. Quite cool, no? Ah, nice. Ha! Another reason why cardigans are great. I can get it on. How fun. Yeah, I'm so happy with this. I'm so excited to get it done. It has taken a backseat at the moment because I'm working on a gift knit, which I'll go into right after this. But the yarn, the British DK guys, you gotta get yourself some. It's so good. I got 2 very special skeins when I was over in New York, and then I've ordered a whole sweater quantity of it for another pattern, which will be my Christmas Eve cast on, which you will see in the next episode before Christmas. I'm gonna get one more episode in before Christmas breaks up. But the yarn is just, it's like so up my alley. Like it's like that just nice, super soft, rustic, non-superwash yarn. That's just like, to me, it's perfect for everything. Do you know what I mean? It's perfect for color work. It's perfect for warmth. It's beautiful in stockinette. Like, what more do you want in a yarn? I don't know. But yeah, so this is my Bumpy cardigan. I'm like just wearing it now and looking at it on the camera. I can't wait to have it finished, but I must resist finishing this one off. I want to say I'll have it done for the next episode, but I don't think I will because of what my next whip is. So let's talk about the next whip. How are you guys doing? How is your gift knitting? Have you overexerted yourself? Have you gone, I can make 12 pairs of socks for people in 12 days up until Christmas? What have you done? We all do it. But so I'm only doing one gift knit this year. He says, anyone else I believe is going to get something sewn because it's a bit faster to sew. But the story of my gift knit starts with the fact that I only really knit for one person. I only really knit for people I am like related to, or my boyfriend, my partner. I've knit for him, I've made him 2 jumpers and 1 pair of socks, which I spoke about. And so this year I'm making him another jumper, and he's always really liked when I'm like, oh, like, you know, for him, I usually like to make him something I've already made myself. And that's not like, I don't know, could see it as being a bit like, oh yeah, I'm not going to try something new for you. But really it's more like I like to know that it's a pattern that first of all, I enjoy knitting. This is how you beat the boyfriend or husband or partner curse, is make sure it's a pattern you enjoy making, which is why I always ask him like, okay, what of my ones do you like? What color do you want it to be? It has to be a color that they like, not a color that you like. And it has to be something like, you know, will fit them, you know? So for us, thankfully, we're very, very close in size. So he can try on the size that I made and said, no, I'll prefer the size up, or I'll prefer the size down. So he really liked, of course, my So Basic sweater by Max, and I'll pop a photo up of it. It was one of my first, was it my first ever Max pattern? Maybe it was my first ever Max pattern. Yeah, anyway, it's a fingering weight sweater, and like, you know, you want to show your love, you know, knitting someone a fingering weight sweater is definitely one of them. So it's on 3.5 millimeter needles. And so when we were actually in Lisbon at Rosa Pomar, because the pattern calls for Mondim as well. And so he had a look at the colors there. I wasn't going to buy him the actual sweater quantity there because I can still get it in the UK. So he looked at a range of colors, and he's all blues and grays. They're the only colors he really likes to wear, and blacks. So he was like, yeah, any of those. I'm like, cool. So then I ordered him, he picked out a color he really liked, which was like a navy. And I was like, cool. So then I found in the UK 2 sellers of Mondim who had the color. Unfortunately, neither of them had the 5 skeins I needed. So I got 2 skeins from one seller and 3 skeins from another seller. The seller I had 3 skeins had 2 different dye lots, and then the 2 skeins were another dye lot. So I had 3 different dye lots. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm sure they'll be fine. Once they all arrive, I'm sure they'll match colors. Now, they did not really match colors, and I am just an eternal optimist, so I'm just like, it's fine. I'll do some helical striped knitting, and it will blend and all look fine. I had another tip from New from Hide and Hammer. She said to split my 100-gram skeins into 50-gram skeins, so then I changed colors more often to help blend the different dye lots. And I'll show you, I split them into 50-gram skeins, tagged them with which dye lot they were into 3 different dye lots. So I had 10 balls, almost all with different numbers or letters for the 3 different dye lots that I had. So here, let's see if it will work. Yeah, you can see they're not the same color. This one on the left, oh yeah, you can definitely see as it blows out. They're not the same color. So I was an eternal optimist. I'm like, it's gonna be fine, they'll blend, it's fingering weight, it's so small, so thin, tiny needles, you won't notice it. So I cast on, I just love how much of an optimist I am, but it's fine. It didn't, it was what it was, but I wasn't happy with it. So I haven't frogged it yet, but I did stop knitting on it, and I will show you if you can see. It's hard because it's a navy. Maybe if it blows out. Yeah, there we go. We'll get it to blow out. So you mightn't be able to see it, but I can definitely see, this is the back, so this is where the short rows are. And then this section here is where the striping is. And you can definitely see all the striping. Even, it's a dark navy, so if you were to wear it at night in the winter, you probably wouldn't notice at all. But in sunlight, you can really, really see it. So this is how far I got. The white yarn is for the tubular cast on, and I have it kind of on a holder, so it just looks like a weird nothing. But the other thing was that, I've now made it 3 times. The beginning of round is at the front, and I don't know why. There's obviously a reason why, but it also didn't help that with me essentially striping the yarn every row, there's a jog or a color, you have to twist the yarn, and it doesn't look pretty there. It looks fine once I got the tension right, but there's a bit of a hole. And basically, so, this is all for a gift. This is all for someone I love. I want it to be really nice. I want it to be something he actually wears. And that's another thing of he's so lovely. He would wear it even if I'm not really happy with it. And I don't want him to brave his way through it and just wear it because I made it for him. I'm very lucky that he's like that, but I want him to be able to wear it underneath a shirt at work in the winter. And therefore it needs to be professional and clean and done to a high standard. So I went online and found a different color for him and cast on again. The irony, but the frustrating thing was I was really enjoying making this, and I thought the color was really nice. So that's why I haven't frogged it. because potentially I could finish it and wear it myself, because then it mightn't bother me as much. But for him, I wanted it to be as perfect as I could get it. I know perfection is an illusion. It is an illusion, but I still wanted to make something really, really nice. So the navy color, I believe, is 105 for that. And then the new color I got him is this color, which is 301. So it's kind of like a blue-gray, I would say, color. It's kind of showing up a bit brighter than it is in person. And I'm about this far. So I'm about a third of the way through the yoke on it. So I've removed it. You can see the detail for the sleeve is coming through. And I'm just having so much fun with this. I'm really enjoying it because it's like, apart from the sleeve detail, it's mostly just like stockinette. So it's a really like nice, relaxing knit, and I'm really enjoying it. I think he's going to like it a lot. I think he's going to wear it a lot, which is really nice. And he's happy with it. So the race is on to get this done. I also don't surprise him with knits. We live in a studio flat, so there's no way I'm hiding. There's no way I would have to start in the summer to hide a fingering weight sweater from my partner. But so he knows it's coming. Another way to make sure that your partner will like what you knit for them. And yeah, it's great. This is it's been years since I made the original one, and it's so interesting to see how much like how more confident I am in my knitting, and all the kind of like just techniques I've gotten better at. So I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's going to be really, really great. And the race is on because we won't be spending Christmas together. He'll be going home to Mexico and I'll be going home to Ireland. And so I want to get it done for the last Saturday that we spend together, when we're having a dinner together as a kind of our Christmas celebration with each other. Which also means you kind of have to allow like 3 days for blocking, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, I've got about less than a month to finish it, which for me will be totally achievable. I think, I'm a pretty fast knitter, and so, this is Sunday, and I cast this on Thursday evening, I think. Yeah, so I'm pretty quick, and I've got a lot of time coming up to get it done. So my hope is to get it done in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then that will leave me time to finish the Bumpy cardigan, and then that means on Christmas Eve my like garment needles will be clear, and I can cast on my plan for Christmas Eve. But yeah, so basic. People ask me all the time. They'll talk about sons, husbands, people who prefer masculine fit garments. They're like, what do you recommend? And the So Basic, if they want a really simple plain garment, that's definitely one that I would recommend to make. And yeah, it's wonderful, 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 very well written. I will ask why the beginning of round is in the front though, next time I see him. Anyway, so that's my main whip that I'm focused on at the moment. That's my like home whip. And then my work whip, which is the work in progress that I bring with me to make on my lunch break at work, is, let me pull it out. Also, I did tell you it was a Mondim episode. I was going to say, like, sponsored by Rosa Pomar. I am absolutely not sponsored by them. I would love to be. It is, my God, there is currently 5 different colors of this sitting on the bed next to me right now, but I love it. I've knit with it so much. It probably is my like, what would you call it? Your desert island yarn. Like if you were stranded on an island, like what would you like this? So my next whip is using this. This is in the color 300, which makes me think that, because this is 301, I think this is the like undyed base, and then this is what's colored over it. Wouldn't that make sense? Also, great combo for some marl socks. But yeah, this 300, I've used it before I want to make myself a So Basic in this color. I think it would be really, really nice to have like a nice neutral. And then what I'm partnering is with this, which is Spincycle. And I'm making a new pair of mittens. Look how cute. I haven't made a pair of mittens in years. And this one really, oh, I can even get my hand through to show you. Hold on. Boo, 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 boo. So these are, I'm actually gonna pull it up because I don't have the designer's name to hand. The Geometer Mittens by Lotta H. Löthgren. So they have a whole series of Geometer, I believe, patterns. And there's like a sweater, a sweater and a cowl as well. And I loved how like graphic it was, but in like almost a modern way, which is very, very cool. And so I knew I wanted to like cast it on fairly quickly, and this is also one of those ones that I'm like, ooh, we're going ice skating in a few weeks, and I would love to have like a new pair of mittens for the ice skating. So I'm kind of excited about that. And this color of Spincycle is called Holy Toledo. This was the color that they debuted at Rhinebeck. So I got this. This is one of the things that I collected. I got 2 skeins. So this is the other skein, and it's to show you. It's about to take a very interesting turn into like aquas, teals, greens, turquoises. So I'm very excited to keep going with this. And it's hard not to knit on this right now because it's about to get into my like preferred colors of like teals and greens and blues. But it looks so good on camera as well. I love it. So that's the palm, that's the back of the hand, and yeah, I'm flying through this. It's really, really enjoyable. My previous time I made mittens, I think they were DK, so they were much bigger needles, and I think it was my first ever colorwork project actually. So this is on 2.75 needles, so like almost like sock weight, and I'm also thinking about getting a pair of like glove liners. So like really kind of thin gloves to wear underneath the mittens so that when you pull off your mittens in the cold, you still have some gloves on. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. There's 2 sizes of this pattern. So this is the larger of the 2 sizes. And I'm almost about to start, like I have a few more rounds before I start the decreases for the top of the hand. And I hope it's not strange to give it away, but it uses lifted increases, which is one of the first times I've ever done lifted increases, and I gotta say they refer to them as invisible increases, and I actually really, really enjoy how they look. So I don't know, will that focus? But yeah, just to hear on the thumb, super, super good. So yeah, really, really enjoy them. Highly recommend. It's a pretty new pattern actually. I think it only came out a couple of weeks ago. I think it came out maybe around the time I was in New York, because part of the reason I bought this skein was because I was like, oh, I have a feeling that would look really good. Like when you see a pattern and you're like, I know exactly which 2 yarns I'm going to use. And that was these for me. So yeah, I do really, really love, highly recommend. Very excited to finish them. The only thing is the thumb uses almost this, when you pick up for the thumb, you're going to do, I just don't know which needle I'm going to use for the thumb, like, because it's tiny. This I'm using a shorty needle. These are Chow Goos. So most likely I'll do magic loop, but I don't know how I feel about doing collar work in magic loop. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Chances are I won't do the color work and just have it be a plain thumb. We'll see. It'll look kind of meh, but yeah, I don't know. Might have to do more research. Or just challenge myself and go for it with the magic loop. So that's the Geometer Mittens by Lotta H. Löthgren. And that's all the whips. Is that all the whips? Yes, that's all the whips. There's been other bits and bobs that I've thrown a a row in here and there, but nothing kind of worth sharing right now. I am just, as often with me, I'm just following the joy, following the bliss of what's making me happy in that moment, or what product I really, really want. And so, you know, the warm knits were what I really wanted, and the gift knit is something that I really want to get done as well. And then I'm very excited about new cast-ons and finishing up some other bits. So I think in the new year I will want to clear my needles off a little bit, because I do have I have a kind of a garter shawl on my needles that was kind of a travel project that I do want to finish off, and I have the satellite shawl on my needles, which has been on my needles. I think I only do one shawl a year, and that's been on my needles quite a while, even though I really enjoy it. It's not something I go to knit very often. So, and I'm literally staring at my stash, and I've got like 2 sweater quantities that I really want to cast on for other cardigans. So it's all good stuff. I'm really excited to knit everything I want to knit, but yeah, I'm full of mojo is the most important thing, and now it's just like finding the time to do it. I'm in that very much frame of mind. I'm like, should I just quit my job and just knit all the time? We have those moments, don't we? If we could all just knit full time, wouldn't we do it? But yes, that's all my whips. And now I am going to jump into a very brief recap of my time in New York and what I picked up there. If you are not at all interested in that, then have a great day, and feel free to go and pick up the Bosca Hat pattern with the code YouTube in all caps. And I will see you in the next episode. But if not, let's talk about what I got up to in New York. Okay, New York. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to keep it fairly brief. The purpose for me for the trip, it was kind of last minute for all intents and purposes, but I wanted to overall do a bit of travel on my own. And second of all, I wanted to hang out with knitting friends, and I wanted to soak up the good stuff in my community and meet people. If there was people who watch these videos, I would love to meet people, say hi, say thank you for watching and all that. And I feel like that all happened. To go through chronologically, I guess is probably the best way to do it. I traveled into New York City, and the first day when I got into New York City, I was walking distance from Brooklyn General, which is an amazing, amazing store. I will preface all of this by saying I didn't have a lot of suitcase space. As I said, I was spending time with family before, and as well, like I brought quite a few actual knitting projects to kind of spend my time with when I was there. So I didn't have a huge amount of space in my suitcases, so I wasn't going there to buy. I have enough yarn, you know, like I have enough, not even just like I have enough yarn in general, I have enough projects to keep me going. I didn't go with the intention of purchasing for any projects apart from those mittens, which I feel were released like at the same time. So that kind of sprung upon me. But in New York City, I was close enough to Brooklyn General, so on literally the first morning that I arrived in New York, I checked into my hotel, I got a bagel and walked down to Brooklyn General and just had a really nice wander around the store. It's the only yarn shop that I went to in New York City itself, and it was beautiful. The team were so nice, so helpful, chatty, like everything you want from a yarn store, they were that. And they also had fabric, and I was so tempted, but I have, again, so much fabric right now with a lot of projects already lined up that I was like, I don't have the space and weight capacity to bring fabric home. So I did resist the fabric in there, but they do have a lovely selection. And then yarn-wise, you know, when I travel, I will always try and get something that I can't get anywhere else. You know, we live in a global world. You know, I can order most things online, so there's, you know, I don't see the point in traveling somewhere to buy something that I can just get at home, or if there's like UK stockists of things, because we're spoiled in the UK. There's amazing yarn stores, amazing people who import these yarns, so it's not impossible for me to get certain yarns. So when I travel and I go to a yarn shop, I say, okay, what's what's something that's, you know, exclusive to you or only you can get here. And so I spoke to the team there. The thing that jumped out at me, and guys, look, I know I have a Spincycle problem. I know I do. And it's a really, really bad problem to have because it's so expensive. But it brings me so much joy. It makes me happy. I love, you know, the way the colors change. And so I'm not going to apologize for it. I am aware as how expensive it is. But so when I got to Brooklyn General, they have their own exclusive Spincycle colorway, so I had to pick them up. And I found, and the nice thing about shopping for Spincycle in person is that you can like pick the perfect skein. You know, you can pick one that you really, really like. And I feel like I got two really good ones. There we go. So the color is called, oh, I have no idea. Brooklyn General exclusive Noctuide, Noctuidae. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but this is the color. Very, quite my kind of vibe. If I do a bit of this, you'll be able to see it. Teals, oranges, pinks, yellows, like just a really joyful colorway. So I really, really, really liked them. Even if they weren't the exclusive colorways, they really jumped out at me as well. So this is in the dyed in the wool base. So that's the sport weight. And then I was speaking to the lovely team there. And so we were chatting and they spoke about what is the Brooklyn General. It's their own yarn, which is called Skydance. And this is Ursa Minor and is the name of it. It is Cormo, Merino, and Romney. This is the sport weight as well. Does it say sport weight? I'm pretty sure it's sport weight. And this is 100 grams, and this is the undyed colorway. And I thought they would be really cool together. So part of me wants to either design something myself or find like a really nice pattern. I think it'd be a cool cowl or something. I don't know. But I really liked the way they looked together, and it really, you know, sparked joy for me. If, you know, when you leave a yarn shop and you're so excited about your purchase, even though you don't have any plan for it, but you know that the potential is there, like that feeling. I don't think I don't think any other people besides crafters know that feeling of like getting that material that you're like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be great. So that's what I picked up there at Brooklyn General. And that was like, you know, the first purchase of the trip. So that was all the yarny stuff I did in New York itself. I did pick up a sewing book as well that day, not in Brooklyn General, in another shop, but so what day did I arrive? I think I arrived Thursday? Can't remember. Oh yeah, it must have been Thursday. Yeah, Thursday morning I arrived. And then Friday was Wool and Folk. And so I traveled, so both days, so I went to Wool and Folk and I went to New York Sheep and Wool, aka Rhinebeck. And both days I took the train from New York City up to the Rhine Cliff and Hudson was at the station for the festivals, and then came back into New York City. If I went back again, I hadn't been to New York City for a long time, so I wanted to spend time there. If and when I go back again, I would probably stay in like upstate New York, closer to where the festivals are. But so I took the train out, and Michael, the angel, Piece for Piece Crafting, he picked me up from the station. They picked me up from the station both days. So he picked me up from the station to go to Wool and Folk. If you have been on the internet, if I'm the only podcaster that you watch, then you wouldn't have heard that Wool and Folk did not go very well. From a organizational perspective, I'm not going to spend any time really going over that. Everyone has talked about it. There's lots of people who've deep dived into it. But you know, for all intents and purposes, it was a very poorly organized event, and a lot of attendees and vendors suffered because of it. It was not helped by the fact that it was extremely wet, and half of the stuff was outside. But, you know, get out there and support the people who kind of had a hard time because of how poorly organized it went. A lot of people were let down, and it was a huge shame. What I will say is that my experience of the actual event was very intense because I could feel how poorly organized it was. You know, there was a lot of people in a very small, cramped space, and it made it very difficult. So generally, myself and the boys from Needles at the Ready and Michael from Piece Over Piece, we hung out in the booth with Walcott Yarns and Le Garçon Hand Dyed, because their booth thankfully was indoors, first of all, and it was kind of separate from a lot of other people in a corner, so, and next to the bar. So we were quite lucky that we could just hang out there and kind of find a safe space from the chaos. So in that regard, it was, you know, everything that everybody's saying is like, those who are complaining about it are completely, you know, right in what they're saying. What they're saying is true. What they're saying is the fact that it was poorly organized and unfair is very much true. So I will echo all that. I did most of my time at the booth with the Le Garçon and Walcott team, and I did a very brief like whip around to just quickly look at things, but it wasn't a very conducive space to purchase anything. And because I wasn't really there necessarily to purchase yarn, I didn't purchase anything from any of the vendors there. Maybe if it had been better organized and more of a kind of easier space to navigate, I would have. But for me, I spent most of my time in the booth, meeting people, chatting to people, and then had a quick look around. I did make it up to the 5th floor, but I didn't buy anything kind of because of that. But putting all that aside, it was so fantastic to meet so many people. So many people came up. To those of you who came up and said hi, thank you so much for coming up. It made my day to meet so many people. Everyone was so nice. And yeah, it was like wonderful to chat to people. I just do this sitting in my flat with a camera, to actually have people walk up and say they watch and they enjoy is it's really amazing, and like really filled up my heart. So thank you to those of you who stopped by and said hi and took photos and chatted. It was really great to meet all of you, every single one of you, for the whole weekend. So yes, it's super great to meet you, and it was great just to hang out with my knitting friends, all the boys, and all the other people. I mean, the Walcott Yarns and Yarn Story people are all, I consider them friends of mine because we're all in the UK. So it was great to hang out with them. I had some London friends who were there who I bumped into as well. I knew they were there, so we got to hang out briefly. But I even had some London friends I didn't see the whole weekend because it's so big and so many people. So yes, we were... the rain was terrible. I mean, I think it would have ended up being poorly organized regardless of the rain, but the rain really made the whole weekend quite difficult. And for me personally, quite difficult when we get to talking about Rhinebeck. But Woolen Folk for me was really spending time at the Le Garçon booth, saying hi to as many people I could, helping out a little bit on the booth with people coming to purchase. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go there and just work. I think it would be fun. Like, you know, I came from retail. I can work a till like nobody's business. But yeah, so hung out with the booth, had like the unofficial meet and greet. Well, it was an official meet and greet, but it was so busy and so many people passing by that we just kind of like found kind of corners and spaces where people could come up and say hi to us all. And so that was really fun to chat to people. I loved seeing what people wore, seeing what people bought, seeing what people were making. It was just fantastic in that regard. And so I didn't buy anything with Woollen Folk, but the boys from Les Garcons and by extension Walcott, I picked up something very special. Oh, what's this? What's this super special, amazing colorway? Why, it's Jonathan's Soft Day. So this is my colorway. I talk like, I slaved over it. Really, I suggested a name over margaritas with with Vincent. But this is, I'm so thrilled and so honored that they have put my name on a colorway, and it is honestly perfect. When you go to Ireland, this is what a soft day looks like in Ireland, because when you go, it will rain. And so it kind of, I've been told it looks like my eye color, which I don't know, is that intentional? We'll see. But I'm so happy with this. It's so cool. So they gifted me with 2 skeins. I got it in the sport weight. So this is the BFL Maxim. And sport weight is kind of like the new vibe for me. So this is in sport weight as well. So, potentially this would be a fun combo too, no? But yeah, so I'm so honored and thrilled, and I love the colorway so much. So thank you so much, Max and Vincent and team, for this. And I absolutely love it. It's kind of like, I don't even want to make anything because it's so special, but I think I will, because I do love the colorway. It's a bit of me. It is literally a bit of me. So yeah, 10 of you who picked up this colorway when you were there, you're a real one. You're great. Cool. So then that all went fine. Journeyed home to my hotel room in New York City. And then the next day I headed up again to Rhinebeck in New York for Rhinebeck itself. It was still wet, unfortunately. So we were carrying around umbrellas. Rhinebeck as well was like much bigger. Obviously, it's been around for years, so it was well organized, much more space. It had like, you could do like loops, so the flow of people moved around, and there was so much to see and do. So it was fantastic. Like, experience-wise, was so much better, even regardless of the rain. So overall, I had a much better day that day. Met a whole bunch of other people. The Knit Ink girls who I bumped into, I was so happy to meet them. I think I say to them like, oh, they were my highlight, like meeting them. Because, I'm so grateful when people say I'm one of their favorite podcasts, but I also have my favorite podcasts. I have people that I fangirl over. So the Knit Ink crew, it was so nice to meet you guys, and like made me really happy to give you hugs. So yeah, there was a bunch of people that I was so thrilled to meet, and lots of people who watch, which was great. People were like, I know you. It's like, yeah. So it was really, really nice. It was nicer like as a day overall, because we could like wander around a bit. I was with the Needles of the Ready boys, Kevin and Ray, and with Michael. We were like a little pod together, and so we wandered around together, and then we went around for a while, came back, and then we're hanging out on like the famous hill where everyone meets up. And so we're hanging out, and I'm wearing my tessellated vest, which you would have seen in the previous episode, which was the Andrea Mowry pattern for Rhinebeck that year. There was a sweater and a pullover, so there's loads of people wearing vests. Having a great day. It's a little bit soggy. Then I go and check my phone. And I see an email saying, oh, your train has been cancelled. And I was like, oh no, my train back to New York City has been cancelled. Then I go and check all the other trains, and they've all been cancelled. All of the trains back to New York City have been cancelled. And so because there'd been so much rain that weekend, there'd been a mudslide, and basically no trains were running at all. So I am, oh my God, this is like 10 minutes before the Andrea Mowry meetup. And, there to meet you guys, there to have a great time, but also I'm there to meet Andrea Mowry. Do you know how many of her patterns I've made and how much of a fan I am? Like, of course, I'm going to try and meet her. And so 20 minutes before she's like, the meetup is due to start, I get an email saying like, oh, you're not going back to New York City tonight. Like, you're flying home to London tomorrow? Ha 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 ha. That's cute. So suddenly panic sets in. I get on the phone to Amtrak to try and like see what option is there for me to get back to New York City. And I'm like panicking because it's that kind of thing of like, you're in a foreign country, you're in like not a central location within that foreign country, and you don't know your way around. And you know, I was talking in previous episodes about like public transport in Europe is great and you can walk places, and I'm like, oh, I'm here in a place where that's not a thing. So I have this very now visceral memory of being like on hold to Amtrak, watching Andrea Mowry like say hi to everyone, and I'm like panicking, being like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get back to New York City? Like, I have to fly home tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do? So, yeah. And even in this like panic moment, unfortunately, I'm so sorry to anyone who stopped me in these moments. I was in like dire straits. I was so worried that I wasn't going to get back to, like, you know, I wasn't worried about being homeless or something like that. Like, you know, the boys were around. I had friends around who were like, you can stay with us tonight. Like, it's fine. Like, don't worry. But I was just like in such a bad way. So anyone who stopped me in that moment to say hi, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't really feeling it at that moment because I was so worried I wouldn't get back to New York. So I'm running around. At this point, the boys had left me because they were like, you enjoy Andrea Mowry, bye. And so then I'm like, this happened. So I'm like trying to find them. I eventually find them because I went the completely wrong direction. I eventually find them. They're hanging out with the knitting posse as well. And they're like, it's fine. Like, you can stay with us. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And so in this moment, it's like, I will say, guys, this community has my heart forever. The rallying of these people was amazing. So the knitting posse team and Kate, they were like, okay, let's figure this out. We can do this, da, 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 da. So we kind of head back to the hill, and we were literally at a point where I was about to just stand up in front of Andrea Mowry's meetup and shout, anybody going back to Manhattan after this? Like, that was how close I was to like doing it. I was actually going to walk up to Andrea Mowry and say, hey, Andrea Mowry, do you mind if I shout at everyone here to see if anyone's driving back to New York tonight? That's what it was like. So then we went over in the end to Kim and Joanna, because they were local, and they were like, oh, what about Deb? And I was like, I don't know who Deb is. And they're like, oh, Deb lives in Connecticut, so she's driving back that way. So in the end, Deb was like, yeah, I can drive. She could drive me to another station, which wasn't affected by the mudslides, and then I could take a train back into New York City. So we found, you know, people who knew the area, and then found somebody who was driving back. And so Deb, who is now one of my new best friends, drove me back to the station in Connecticut, and then I could get the train back to New York. So in the end, I did get back to New York City, but I had such a panic that, like, you know, I like making plans, and I like when my plans go well, and when they don't, I'm a bit like, ooh. So, but what I did love was how this whole community rallied behind me, and we were able to come up with a solution in that moment. And, you know, this person was a stranger and was more than willing to take me on almost a 2-hour drive to get me back somewhere. I mean, yes, it was kind of on her way, but still it was just like so kind. And I'm so grateful to like everyone who got involved and everyone who was able to kind of rally behind me to figure it out. And when I had found, you know, that I was going to be okay and get back, it was like such a relief. I like almost cried. It was such a relief. And like, this all happened like right around the time the group photo was being taken. So I did manage to like hop into the group photo. So like on the right of the group photo of everyone with Andrea Mowry in her tessellated vest, like I'm on the corner, like red-faced and like, everything's gonna be okay now. Deb's gonna take me to the train. So when that broke up, I did manage to go up to Andrea Mowry, even though, you know, really her meetup was over and people were straggling, and, you know, like, people were coming up to me and stopping me, and I know how much like energy it takes to talk to so many people. And I know she had been through that, and I didn't want to be like keeping her, but I was just like, I've come from London. I, you know, would love to just pop up and meet her. And so I walked up to her, like immediately word vomited on her, like, I came from London and I made the vest, but there's a mudslide. Did you hear there's a mudslide? And I got a trade, and so Deb's going to take me back and blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm pretty sure she was just like, whoa. But she could not have been nicer. I feel like everyone talks about how nice she is, and it's completely true. And she just said, like, you know, I'm sure, like, that's, you know, all good. And I was like, oh yeah, I just have a little bit of time now to shop. And she's like, oh, whatever is there, we'll be there for you, and everything's going to be fine, and da-da-da. And she was just so nice and really like calmed my very panicked mood up until that moment. And again, I was like kind of emotional, you know what I mean? It's like, it was a whirlwind of things going on. So I was very glad that it all kind of worked out in the end. And I have a story to tell and a memory that I will never forget. And I haven't even looked at my phone bill for being on hold to Amtrak, but they were no help to me. So yes, I did make it home in the end, was all a bit panicked, but in the end, I got to hang out with amazing people, saved by even wonderful, kind people, and got to meet so many wonderful people that I wanted to meet and who wanted to meet me, and I wanted to meet them. So it was just absolutely fantastic. After all of that, and Deb was so chill and so great. She's like, well, like, you know, let's maybe an hour, like, let's hang out, let's catch up then and we can go. And I'm like, cool. So that meant I had some shopping time. So I did do a bit of shopping. Not a whole lot. So I did get the Holy Toledo. I got 2 skeins. So this is the other skein of that colorway that I got, which is really cool. Teals and browns and oranges and yellows. And then the other thing that I picked up, which was just small, was some Bare Naked Wools, which was highly recommended by the Needles at the Ready boys. And I fell in love with these 2 colors, actually. What did I get? I got more sport. Everything I bought was sport this whole time. So I got... Yes, so these are both, they're 3-ply sport, 100% Finn sheep wool, made in the USA. I think they did have other wools, but they were UK sheep and UK wools. And I'm like, that's great. I will try and find I'm sure they're wonderful, but I was like, oh, I want the US stuff. Like, I'm here now. Why am I? Do you know when you're like, I'm like, I've come from the UK to pick up UK wool to bring it back to the UK. So anyway, that's just how my brain works. But so these are the 2 colorways I got, which were reindeer and wolf. And I found this color, because I feel like they're natural colors. I just found them to be beautiful. So just 1 skein of each. No sweater quantities. Maybe next year, next time. I'm not promising next year, but next time. And yeah, I thought they were beautiful. I thought they looked really nice together. Would be some nice, like, low contrast color work maybe. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this yarn. It feels really, really nice. And yeah, that was it. That was my New York and Rhinebeck haul. Deb and I chatted the whole way home on the train, and it was absolutely wonderful. In the car. And so yeah, it was an unforgettable experience. Really, really enjoyed it, and very glad that I feel very grateful that I am able to make those journeys and make those trips to meet people and have a great time and enjoy this craft and community. So yes, thank you to those of you who said hi, and I'm sure I'll see you again, hang out again. And yeah, so that was it. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Thank you for those of you who stayed around to hear the whole rigmarole. Hopefully I popped up pictures as we went. And yeah, happy, what a way to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. I am so grateful. Go out and get your Bosca Hat. It is free for you with the code if you want it. If you want to support and ping something my way financially, you can it is available for purchase on Ravelry as well as a regular pattern. But otherwise, get it for free. It's my gift to you to say thank you for all that time. You're going to like and subscribe this video, like, obviously, if you haven't already. And I'm going to get back to knitting. I'm going to go take some photos for this hat, and then we're going to get him up and going. And next time I see you, it will be deep in the festive holiday period. So hopefully I'll have some nice finished objects for you, and excited for new cast-ons. So please look after yourself. Those of you I did meet, I hope you're very well. And everyone else, I hope you're always well. Let me know what you're gift knitting on. Are you gift knitting? Are you selfish knitting? Let me know down in the comments. I'm so grateful and happy that we've made it to 10,000. And so now we've just got to go for 20,000, and I've got to make another pattern for you guys, right? So let's do that then. Take care. Hope you're well. Bye.